The NFL Divisional Round did not disappoint. All 4 games was exciting. One game finished with a huge upset. Another game had a team with a surprising performance that had everyone frustrated. I will start off with the first game of the weekend, which was the 4th-seeded Houston Texans versus the top seed Kansas City Chiefs. I had Houston at plus 8.5 point spread on my parlay ticket. Going into the game, I was thinking this would be a close game, and Houston was going to have to play a perfect game to win this game. But that ended up not being the case. The game was a battle up until the second half of the game. The Chiefs were able to pull away in the second half thanks to a big game from Travis Kelce and, of course, the refs. The Chiefs won the game 23-14. It is frustrating to see how Mahomes just knows the rules and used them to his advantage. But I blame Tom Brady for all this because while Patrick Mahomes just takes advantage of the rules, these rules only exist because of Tom Brady. Anyways, we get to see Mahomes and the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game for the 7th straight year. This means Patrick Mahomes has been in the championship game for every year that he has started so far in his career. Talk about insanity. Talk about greatness. But anyways, on to the second game. The second game of the weekend was the 6th-seeded Washington Commanders versus the first Detroit Lions. I had Washington on my ticket at plus 7.5 point spread, and I expected them to win the game, mainly because of Jane Daniels. This game ended up being the best and most entertaining game of the weekend. The game was going back and forth until the second half of the game when Washington's defense took it up a notch and just stopped the Lions' offense completely. The Commanders won the game 45-31. Washington must have watched the film of the Houston Texans versus Detroit Lions game from early in the season because their defense made Goff replicate that same performance. 2 interceptions, including the pick six, which he probably wishes he did not try to go get that tackle because he got annihilated on that block. Washington also stopped the Lions' run game in the second half as well. Lions look helpless on offense, and considering how fast Ben Johnson built a coaching staff in Chicago, he might not have been able to keep his focus on just the Lions. Meanwhile, Jaden Daniels and the team just played like they were the top seed. They just kept scoring touchdowns to the point that the Lions lost all fight. It is great to witness Daniels balling out the way he is during his rookie year. Now we got the third game of the weekend, which is the first game on Sunday, which is the 4th-seeded Los Angeles Rams playing against the 2nd-seeded Philadelphia Eagles. I took the Eagles money line for this game. I fully expected the Eagles to win this game and to win against the host of 6th-seeded Washington Commanders in the NFC Championship game. This game was entertaining as well. It went back and forth to the end of the game. Barkley took over the game again with another big game, even though the Rams swore they was going to stop him this time and not let him have a big game like he did last time against them during the regular season. But it failed. Barkley did his thing. The Rams did have fight until the very end when Matthew Stafford threw an incompletion on 4th down at the end of the game on their potential game-winning drive. The Eagles won the game 28-22. Injuries to Jalen Hurts and Mitchell are some things to keep an eye on as they prepare for the NFC Championship game. The last game of the weekend was the 3rd-seeded Baltimore Ravens versus the 2nd-seeded Buffalo Bills. I had Baltimore money line on my ticket, and the winner will be going to Kansas City to face the top-seeded Kansas City Chiefs. The game lived up to the hype of being competitive, but not in the way people predicted. The Ravens had been careless with the ball, and a surprisingly detrimental performance from Mark Andrews doomed them. Ravens had 3 turnovers in the game. Josh Allen seemed to struggle throughout the game as well, but he did enough to win the game. The Bills won the game 27-25. While Lamar deserves some blame for the loss with his early fumble and interceptions, Lamar did what he had to do to keep them in the game and put them in position to potentially tie the game. Mark Andrews deserved most of the blame, though, because he was focused on 2 key plays that should have been easy plays that turned into nightmares for him and the Ravens. He caught a pass in the middle of the field in the 4th quarter, and instead of turning up the field, trying to get some more yardage and just getting down, he started to think he was Lamar and tried to do some elusive move and dropped the ball on the ground with no inadvertently on the ground. Didn't need no help. It wasn't forced out. Nothing. Just dropped it. The other key play involving him was the drop that he had on the game time 2 point conversion. It was a simple rollout. We all seen these plays on 2 point conversions. Seen it plenty of times. Ball hit him in his chest, and he drops it. Drops it as he's falling into the end zone. Now, some people blame Lamar, claiming that he could have threw the ball better. Maybe, but we've seen those type of plays plenty of times, thrown in the exact same spot by several different quarterbacks, and they all get caught. This is just on Andrews. This is all on Mark Andrews. I am really aggravated that the Ravens lost because now I'm going to have to root for the Chiefs in the AFC Championship game because I cannot stand Josh Allen and the Bills, and I do not want to hear about him if if they actually win and head to the Super Bowl. I do not want to hear all that talk. But the last the last thing I want to mention before I end this episode, I love the snow day in Baton Rouge. I think we all love the snow day in Baton Rouge, from jigging to the vibes, just the energy, the positive energy, just the peacefulness of it. And we need more days like that. So Baton Rouge, let's keep up the positive energy. That'll wrap up this episode. I'm out. You dig?